Yo, what it do, skin folk and kin folk, new people, you're not in the wrong place. You are actually in the very best place to be. People who've been here before, returning listeners, watchers, whatever, welcome back. This is indeed the Life Be Lifing podcast, and we are hosted by none other than the beautiful, the wise, the what's a new adjective for her this week?
Oh, you gotta think of a new adjective for me.
See, the persistent, on top of being intelligent, Mimi, the goddess.
Hi, y'all miss me?
Yeah, I know they did. I know they did for sure, for sure. And she is flanked by none other than your favorite fat freckled man, Big Dog himself. You know what I'm saying? Your favorite coach's favorite coach, Splash Charles. You dig me? We back in this building and we finna get straight into the subject, man. So for those who live under a rock, there was this celebrity basketball tournament that goes on. I forgot the name of it that fast. Oh, the Crew League. The Crew League, has entertainers, street ballers, semi-pros, all types of, non-pros playing in it, having fun, doing what they do. So while the game's going on, they got certain people, doing a color commentary. And one of these notables is the rapper known as Sukihana. I was gonna say known for her hits such as, but I'd be lying if I told you I know most of her hits. I just know the one that's vagina everywhere. I know that name. I don't know the name of most of the songs. I'm like, lie to y'all. So, feel free to drop it in the comments, whatever your favorite one is, if you a Suki fan. Sukihana, Suki the throat goat, aka Suki with the good Uchiwali. She was one of the guest commentators for the event. As this was going on, a young rapper who I'm also not aware of their catalog by the name of YK Osiris. Or is he a singer? I don't know. I don't know what the boy do. He make music.
I don't know. I just know that he's famous for getting Drake on his first debut song. And it was off of a bet or something like that. So that's why I'm familiar with him.
Like, I can honestly tell you, I've seen more of him in the Crew League than I had of his music videos. I'll be honest. So apparently there was some flirtation going on between him and Miss Suki, to the point where, I guess he kind of acted like he wanted to shoot a shot, and Suki went with that, boy, stop playing with me. I'm too big for you. I'll turn you out. So, that got him a little bit excited, and he started rubbing on her arms like, to do a massage. And then that turned into him trying to kiss her on the cheek. And then that turned into him kissing her on the mouth. Now, I said all these things, and I need to go back and add context to each part. So, the rubbing of the shoulders, she kind of hunched over a little bit, not leaned back like, ooh, daddy. You know what I'm saying?
He leaned away from it, not into it, basically.
You feel me? Then there was the kiss on the cheek that she kind of, was like, turning her face with that as well. And then she's like, oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know. And then there was the attempted kiss on the lips. Now, this part has to be absolutely stressed. He grabbed her by the face, pulled his face in, and tried to suck face with Shorty. And as he's doing it, she screams like, oh, stop. And he keeps going to a certain point where he breaks it off. And then he busts out laughing, and he goes and he sees one of his homies and bumps into him and daps him, and he's cracking up. So that's the end of the scene. I'm not going to say it like I watched it in real time. That's the end of the clip that was released. In the ensuing days, the backlash that YK Osiris would receive, being called a rapist, being, labeled for sexual assault, Twitter had a field day. He's a nasty, he's a monster, he should be castrated, he should go to jail, he should be jumped. Those men that were also there, including Lil Duval, I want to say, what's the boy, Funny Boy Marco, somebody else I couldn't recognize. I can't remember the name, but it was a couple of people there, and Duval was one of the people kind of egging it on. But yeah, so then became that conversation about the men who were present in the room, who none of them checked YK Osiris, and then it comes the protect Black women conversation. So before I just had to run that play down for those who've not seen it. Go look it up on YouTube. We'll if I could get a clip of it, I'll put it on the page so that you could see it for yourself, and make your judgments there on in. But I will let my lovely co-host get into what she saw in the video itself.
The only clip I have seen is when he is going in to try to kiss her, and she's like, so, when you catch that at a glance, if you don't really know the context behind it, it could look like they're playful with it, right? But at the same time, I have to be honest, when I saw it, I didn't think much of it because of who it was.
Speak to that.
Okay. And this sounds bad because I literally took my sexual assault and prevention training for work today. We call it SAPRA. Yeah, so this is funny that this is a topic.
Timely.
And I have to say, now that we are discussing it in conjunction with me having taken that training, as if I don't take the same training every day.
Every year.
Nothing changes about this training, right? So I know the difference between sexual assault and sexual harassment, right?
Okay.
But I will say, I kind of feel bad because my initial reaction to it was, that's Suki, they playing around. She probably said something to egg this little boy on sexually because she talks such explicit trash talk about, her sexual prowess and interests and what she likes to do. I just figured she might have made a little off-cuff comment to him. He like, shit, I'm gonna take you up on that. And she was with the boy, I'm just playing with you type of, vibe. But when I saw the tweet from Meek Mill talking about, come on, Suki, don't do him like that. He just a young boy that got excited. I stand with you, but don't do the young boy like that. And then, a couple of other people, tweeting like, what was done to Suki isn't right. Y'all shouldn't let that kind of stuff happen. I just kind of was like, okay. I sent it to you and Ace and was like, what's happening here? Because I was completely lost in the sauce at this point. So when I started seeing the memes, about him not knowing what he did wrong, I honestly can say he probably don't know what he did wrong. And that's sort of disheartening for two reasons. Because A, no one's teaching him that just because a woman talks sexually explicit talk doesn't mean that's an invitation for you to sexually engage her. And two, because he's so young and she's so much older, like she should have been like, come on now, like you doing too. She should have, I felt like maybe if she had corrected him off cuff, like, listen, just because I talk that shit don't mean you can come at me like that with that bullshit. But that also begs to differ. It's like, what do you say when you have like, so it's just it's so tough because it's like I'm teetering the line, right? Because I know if I get on this podcast and I'm talking about what I like in a sexual manner, that doesn't mean it's okay for someone to be like, yeah, I saw you on a podcast and I heard what you went to, so what's up? And try to force themselves on me.
All right, now let me pause. Let me pause because what you said is really crucial just now. You said, you know, just because you talking that shit and talking what you went to doesn't give somebody the right to come up to you and be like, yeah, I heard what you was talking, so what's up? I'm drawing this line here so y'all can see and force themselves on me. Because I feel like that's a crucial part of what could have happened, right? Like, I feel like she did spur him on with those initial comments. Boy, I'll break you down. Boy, I'll turn you out. You know, you can't handle this. Come on now. Everybody who hears you can't handle this is supposed to know. Sounds like it's a challenge.
Right. And to me, that's different.
Challenge accepted.
And that's different.
Now, talking back. Now, see, that's the part that was missing, right? Because if he decided to talk back to her, like, I'm saying, what's up though? Like, what you mean? When are we gonna do this? That actually could have prevented what transpired. Because I do think that if you talking that stuff and you putting yourself out there in that type of way, and somebody comes to address you on that type of time, I think it's fair game. As much as I talk about basketball, Splash Charles, if somebody walks up to me and we're near a basketball court and they like, yo, what's up? Check rock. Or, you know, you trying to shoot some pig? And then I'm like, nah, I just like basketball. I don't really play it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to look crazy, but I had the right to say that. I absolutely have the right to say that. But I shouldn't be looking crazy because people coming up to me and all of a sudden now they want to hoop when they see me.
Yeah, and I guess that's the
But
thing.
it's crazy if you just decide that you're going to throw a chest pass while I'm walking near the court.
Yeah, I guess that's
you know what I'm saying? Engage me in the conversation first to see where I'm at with it. And then the physical response happens. I felt like I had to jump in there and get that part before I lost it up here.
And I guess that's where I wasn't specific. Like, you engaging me in a conversation, asking me what's up is one thing. But think about it, like, again, in taking my training today, like, you got a coworker at work, y'all kind of, you know, talk, and one person perceives it to be one way, and another person perceives it to be another. But the minute you know, touch me inappropriately or grab me inappropriately or grope me or make a comment that I respond with that's a negative, but you keep going with it, that's where the problem lies. And I think the problem is he did not take heed to the all stop she was giving him, because in his mind, much like in all of our minds, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, we like, this girl talks so much shit in a sexual manner all the time. Who knew that she was joking with him with the, okay, listen, no, I'm not comfortable. And I know that females sometimes don't know how to address the discomfort they're experiencing in a situation like that. Like, for me, if someone is inappropriately approaching me and having conversation and touching, reaching, I'm gonna be like, look, motherfucker, you want your ass whipped today or not? But you got some females that's like, they kind of clam up because even though they're talking that shit on a regular basis, they don't expect anybody to quote unquote violate them. But it's almost that same age-old conversation of, well, just because I dress provocatively doesn't mean I'm looking for provocative actions. So it's like, it goes back to that. Just because she talk it, is that meaning she bout it and she with it at any given moment? That's like saying, oh, well, you dress like a whore, so you must do whore activities. No, like, this is just how I like to dress. That does not give you a right to grab me, say inappropriate things to me, grope me, fill me up, touch me, like rape me, because we know it goes that far. So yeah, I feel bad for her because of how she's being viewed, in the sense of, well, girl, you always talking that shit. So now that he trying to engage you for talking that shit, we supposed to feel sorry for you? But she's still a female that was giving clear signals and signs that she was uncomfortable. And I feel bad for him because he's a young male that doesn't know the signs and signals of a female that's uncomfortable. So now people are going to peg him as, well, shit, if he did it to her, has he done it to other people? How far has he gone with other people?
Yes.
Will he do this again? Like, what kind of help and training is he going to get? What's his problem?
Yes.
And, you know, this is the problem I have with this whole sex sales thing with female rappers. I love the Megan Thee Stallion rap. I love the Lotto rap. I love the City Girls rap. But I literally just listened to Young Miami say the other day to Jason Lee, oh no, my daughter, she ain't gonna be no city girl. Then why are you out here talking that city girl shit, living a city girl life, but you don't want that for your daughter?
But that, remember too, that was after she said, oh, I'm a whore.
You're correct. She definitely came out. She was like, I'm a whore. I just love being a whore. So now somebody comes to your daughter and be like, well, your mom a whore, so you a whore? And this is why we got to watch our words, right? So for instance, yes, we have had, you know, podcast conversation where we have been very candid about certain situations, which have, as we've talked about, opened that can of worms for people to approach me and address me about certain things. My marriage, you know, sexual interests, my friendships, or whatever the case may be, my mental health. I opened that can of worms. So now I have to be prepared to respond in a manner in which I'm comfortable discussing those things with people that are engaging me about it. So I guess what I'm saying is, if she's going to talk that shit, she needs to be very absolute, clear, and concise. Just because I talk that shit, don't approach me with that shit. I talk that shit on a record. That's a rap. Real life, don't come to me with that. But
see,
these females,
that's the problem. See, that's the problem.
I just want to say that's the problem.
That's where it goes different with Suki. Everybody else you mentioned, outside of those, like, you know, I've seen the clips, even though I haven't watched the episodes, like Miami show, Carisha Please. These self-contained conversations where you're being specifically asked about sexual things. Like she asked Megan, would she have sex with a girl? Yep. You know what I'm saying? She's asking, you know, what are you into? Do you do this? Somebody's asking her, oh, would you get peed on? You know what I'm saying? These specific questions that people are answering in these interviews when they're being asked, that's one thing. But Suki is donating, giving, oversharing information that whether it's really true to who she is or not, and it seems as if, and I was just saying this to somebody else actually on Instagram the other day, it seems as if she tries to top herself every interview. Oh, the one interview, yeah, I got an OnlyFans, we on there fucking. The next interview, oh yeah, he could beat me with the dick in the face. The other one, oh yeah, no, not only do I want my ass ate, I eat ass. I'm gonna lay him down on his stomach. And the other one, oh yeah, no, pee on me, all over there. I hit, like, using faces urine. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like escalating. So it's not just like, oh, I'm saying this stuff in my raps because this is music, I'm making these songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how I feel in these songs. This is the character I play.
Yeah,
you know, like Belle Khaliz is the person, Cardi B is the rapper. You know what I'm saying? Kimberly is the person, Lil Kim is the rapper. So like those is where you see the personas separate, because not all their interviews is concentrated around their sexual acts, and whether that's by design or whether because who they actually are in real life is not the reflection of who they are on the mic. I don't know. I don't know these women personally. But it makes sense to have a separation. There's no separation between Suki in these conversations and the Suki you hear in these songs or see in these videos. You know what I'm saying? It's almost as if every interview is a promotion for her sex life and her OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So you are absolutely inviting people You're literally going around naming yourself Suki with the good Uchi. So if you come on my platform, me asking you about sex is not it's not beyond the pale.
Yeah.
Me asking you what you into sexually, it's not beyond the pale. I've literally seen you do it other places and you're perfectly fine and comfortable with it. So then you have to be the one to, as you say, shut it down, draw the line.
Is that because she's in control of that conversation and that interaction?
But that's what I'm saying. It's not like I asked you the question and then you gave me the sexual answer because I asked you a sexual question. If I'm talking to you about relationships and then somehow you manage to rope sex into the conversation, I'm asking you, oh, are you single? I am right now, but so I could use my back blown out because it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? I didn't ask you all that. I just asked you if you were single. Oh, in a relationship, what is it you provide a man? Throw, back shots. You okay? You know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
When you throw when you throw those as the first salvo out your clip, those are the first shots you throw when somebody's asking you what you provide in a relationship, not stability, not love, not respect, not these other things. You just throw out different sexual acts. You could have just lumped it all with sex. I provide all these things as a person, and my sex is fire.
Yeah, it's almost like she doesn't have anything else to herself. Like, doesn't have anything else that really defines her as a person. Which is why I feel bad for YK Osiris, because he a little young dude. He like what, 20 now, maybe?
Little horny boy.
Yeah, he definitely fresh out the box, trying to beat every box he can. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
And then he about to get him some old experience, Coochie. He was like, "I'm with it, Mom. What's happening? We can get this happen." And you got the folks around, and here's the thing that really kind of like triggers me. Everybody else around her didn't say anything, and why? Probably because of the same reason. We looked at her and like, yeah, it's Suki, because you stayed talking that shit. So who knew that you were bothered by it? And my question is, why was she bothered by him? When I've seen other, she'd have been on set with Slim Jimmy from Ray Shrimmer, haunting his baby mother, talking about, yeah, he was so deep down my throat and I got a new wig out of it. Like,
come on now.
I don't want to promote sexual assault,
absolutely
sexual
not.
harassment, sexual, violence.
We directly on Life Be Life and on behalf of myself, on behalf of Mimi the Gods, on behalf of A.C.E, we condemn all of these acts and everything that has everything to do with it. Okay?
Yeah, no
means no, even if she a 304, okay? Listen, like, it's just that simple.
My SAPR training says consent is only consent if they are fully present, they're using their words, and they're giving you overt, not covert, because y'all motherfuckers be mixing that term up. Y'all need to look the words up. Overt responses and actions for you to proceed with any type of sexual engagement. So yeah, if her mouth ain't freely moving and she ain't off nothing, meaning she drunk or high, if she is engaging you, pulling you toward, like, but if a girl backing up off you, she giving you the stiff arm like a Heisman, she turning her face, like she balling her, back up, because that woman gonna have you hemmed up. She gonna have you on Twitter getting fired the hell up by Twitter After Dark and Black Twitter. You don't want to be on their platforms getting fired up, because they
Black Twitter especially.
Yeah, you see how they doing the people in the little Titanic submarine? They have no mercy for these people.
I don't have no sympathy for them either, but
I don't either, except for the little boy.
Shout out to their family. Yeah, exactly.
We're getting off subject. We gonna go all day with that. But again, all that goes to say that people do not see it from your purview because of how you carry yourself. Now, I'm not saying that Suki should be running around here rapping like a whore and doing interviews like a nun, but you get what you give. So if you giving a whole bunch of sex talk and sexual engagement and you getting on these shows and it's all about giving head and taking dick and throat goating and peeing golden showers and giving men special treatment, then what you expect that little boy to think? What you expect that little boy to think? Like, what was he supposed to do? You are literally engaging him. You telling this little boy, I'll break you in, I'll break you down. Like, you can't handle me. I'm gonna tell you right now, every dude I done ever said anything like that to, their response was, all right, what's up? When you ready? Let me see what that be about. I literally told somebody, I'm not the type of person that brag on anything I do in that realm, because one man's trash is another man's treasure and vice versa. I might think I'm good at something. You might think I'm not. So one thing I'm not about to do is be out here putting my type business out there for you to be able to say, oh, she was talking all that shit and she was some shit. So I have learned I do not speak on that like just for no reason. Like if we having a conversation and you asking me about said things, we can have that conversation if I feel like having that conversation. But if I don't, I won't.
Facts.
If I don't feel like it's something that you need to know, because everybody on a need to know basis with me around this motherfucker, I'm not talking about that. So it's almost like, you know, when you put your business out there, people in your business. So if you put it out there that you are a sexual person and you into all this wild stuff, like, yeah, people are gonna be all in, they're gonna try you. They like what you said with basketball, and it's like boxing. If a nigga saying I can beat everybody ass, get in the ring with me, I can outbox the next man, I can go 12 rounds, you can't see me past 7 rounds. So a nigga gonna be like, what's up with that title fight? Let's get in the ring. I'm trying to get a contract popping. And you like, nah, what make you think you can get in the ring with me? Because you said you could beat anybody ass. So I want to see what's up with that.
But even more so, it's gonna happen outside the ring. Niggas gonna test you outside the ring. Y'all don't believe me? Think about what happened with Mayweather a few years ago. I forget how many years ago, but think about that situation. That's a dude doing what he do in the ring. He's up against some of the best fighters in the world, not getting beat up, leaving that ring looking like he was barely boxing. Okay, up against in the ring. Up against some of the best of the best. And you got regular dudes wanting to get into a mix with him. Now, do you think they're gonna stand there and try to fight him like it's a 12-round fight? Of course not.
They're brawling. They want,
you know what I'm saying? And they want to jump him. They perfectly fine with saying we jumped Floyd Mayweather. All them hands he got, he couldn't beat 4 of us.
All because he's talking shit, right?
You know what I'm saying? And in his case, he has every right to talk it because he's talking it in the sphere of what he does. But that's just how human nature works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you go ahead and you look at these pro basketball players, the pros. Regular see them walk in the gym, they challenging them to a one-on-one.
Yep.
Kyrie is a world champion. Before that, he was a #1 draft pick. Before that, he was an All-American 5-star selection for Duke University. Barely played more than 12 games. I think he only really played 11. And still was guaranteed to go #1 in the following draft. And people see him in the gym and be like, I could bust your ass. Play me. People saw them and one dudes for summers after summers and kept coming at them. Oh man, he ain't shit. He can't really ball. He can't. These dudes are balling to the point where they got an ESPN show and somebody saying, well, because you think you're so good, I'm at you.
All for clout.
Rappers. People test the rappers that rap the toughest, that talk the toughest. They have to have security. You think people leave them alone because they scared? Okay. So it's not so. I know people have turned this into a thing about women and sex. So, oh well, because she talks about sex, men think she deserves to be the father. No, it's the thing that you advertise the most that somebody is going to test you on. I just gave y'all a bunch of different examples. Whatever you advertise the most, once you're seen a lot, people are going to want to test you on. Damn it, Umar is getting into arguments and beefs with people over debating, okay? Debates about Pan-Africanism. Why? Because that is the space that he's in, but he has to share that space with other people who believe that they are everything that he believes he is.
Right.
So people are out to attack Umar on a podium, in a forum, on podcasts, because of what he does. Because that's what he's known for. And somebody always wants to take that challenge on.
Yeah.
So if Umar is saying, no matter who you are, I'm the Prince of Pan-Africanism, and you can come and see me. You can come and see me at this podium for this debate. And I will kick your ass, nigga. Guess what? The line is be around the corner from people who couldn't win debate club in middle school. People who can't get through a sports argument without calling you a name are going to be in that line. People completely unqualified to match up with you are going to get in that line. So when you issue a challenge to a person who is interested in what you do, now it is on you to draw that line as far as how the challenge goes. And guess what? I'm sorry, but you can't handle this as a challenge.
It is. And the fact that she's calling for people to protect her from a fight that she essentially picked is what's crazy to me.
Now here's the thing. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen her call anybody to protect. What I actually saw was her saying that they don't need to kill this boy. They don't need to roast this boy. That she is actually, the last I saw from her, she actually came out and said she doesn't want to press charges on him. He was wrong, but she forgives him and she wants to move on from this. She said she loves and respects the Black man and does not want to tear another young Black man down. And she's going to forgive him and move on from this.
I feel like I saw something initially where she was like upset about it. And then
I saw she was initially upset about it, but I didn't see the protect part. I just saw her say, she was really upset. And apparently she was alluding to being drunk on the thing because she said she drinks a lot. You know what I'm saying? She said she drinks a lot to hide all her pain. And
so, let's talk about that, because
let's talk.
You probably are talking the shit you talk because of the pain you have dealt with in your life, right? You probably don't know that's not how you cope with certain things. Now you add in drinking to the list along with who knows what else you're into. No judgment here. That's your life. But how do you expect that young boy to know that's the state of mind that you in? And that's how you dealing with things. And you really don't mean anything you saying or doing. Especially not when you engage in him like that. That's not fair to him. Like, you have problems you not dealing with. Like, we talk about this all the time, how people, they use a lot of shit to mask their problems. And then when someone, kind of engages them in that manner and perpetuates it or heightens the situation or whatever, you pissed off at them. But for what? They didn't know what you were going through. They didn't know that's why you talking that shit. Like, she literally probably really not as freaky as she claimed to be. Now, folks like,
I don't think she is.
Right, I don't think she is. Now, folks like Young Miami, I might believe Young Miami is the type of whore that she says she is.
Yeah, I believe her. I believe her.
I remember a while ago she did an interview talking about she liked to be dog walked and all of that, and I wholeheartedly believe her. But Suki, I don't know. Her talk is too over the top for me to believe.
But see, and it's not even that it's too over the top. Like I said, it's the fact that it seems like she had to find ways to top the crazy shit she said last time.
Right, you said that.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Young Miami doesn't seem like she's trying to top what she said last time. It seems like because of what she said last time, somebody asked her to open another door, so she opens it. Right. Or they open another door and she walks her ass straight on through.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
She into a bunch of wild shit given her situation with Diddy. But to me, if you look at the variance of the two between like her and Suki, right? Because Suki be trying to be in these relationships with people. She was trying to get married to Kill Bill, like, and then she came out talking about she like girls.
Yes.
Baby, you confusing me.
Cause she confused.
You was talking about being down by the river and then you shaking your ass. What is we doing here? Like, you eating coochie or you trying to go to Pound Town? I'm trying to figure this out. So it's like, if you don't know yourself and what you want for yourself, then you probably should hold up on publicly being someone that you're not, because people are going to take that at face value. And to me, I feel like that's what YK Osiris did. This is what he sees of Suki all the time. She job challenged him. He was like, well, shit, I'm going to take you up on that. Because to him, every boy, young man, it's their dream to hit, you know, an R&B chick or, you know, a rapper chick or an older chick, this experience. In his mind, he probably like, oh, if she willing to give me a go, shit, I'm going to go.
Head first.
But she wasn't serious and he didn't know that. So now they trying to crucify this man for some shit that really ain't his fault.
So here's where I'm gonna hold his feet to the fire.
I was about to get into that, but go ahead.
Where I'm gonna hold his feet to the fire is this: body language absolutely matters. If you walk into anybody who played for me in recent years, who I mentored, like when we have these conversations, they start talking about girls. The Debbie Downer at some point that has to start telling them how to move with women and girls. Like I get it. You at the glory stage of your life, you try and hit everything moving. 1, wrap it up. 2, get tested. 3, pay attention to everything going on. And now, like me and my wife joke about it sometimes, but like I say, my son is gonna be the least romantic person when he starts getting serious about, having sex with women, because because women, typically like to be, complimented and talk sweetly into giving up the cheeks. And he's not going to do that. He's going to be like, so I was interested in having sex with you. I would like to know if you feel the same way. And if so, can you confirm that right when this red light comes on?
The question I had with you using that example in conjunction with YK Osiris, do you believe that that is something we need to start teaching young men?
Absolutely. Listen, I heard another coach saying this similar thing to I can't find the video
I don't remember what school it was, but he was like, let me tell y'all something. Y'all here to play ball. Y'all like these women, that's cool. If they tell you no, no mean no. If they say they not into you, leave them alone. If they don't want to talk to you, keep on walking. Don't put your hands on nobody. And I was like,
yep. If they drunk,
like, damn, we really gotta have these type of conversations. But then I was like, damn, I respect him for having that conversation, because 75% of them probably ain't got nobody to tell them that shit. So they about to go to school, get in one of these rooms, one of these little girls at these parties, and they gonna do something they gonna regret, and they gonna be spending 30 years behind bars for rape because somebody said they did something. And in their mind, it's like, well, I didn't do anything. She said, but then she didn't say, but I don't know. So it's like, yeah, that's why today when I was taking that training, I was like, damn, like, yeah, a lot of people really know the difference.
Even when you mentioned the things that fall into consent and you mentioned inebriation being one of them, let's be perfectly honest. Before probably the Me Too movement, it was nothing to hear a conversation about getting a girl drunk so you could get some. It was nothing to hear that conversation. And just so we're clear, it was nothing to hear that conversation from a girl saying that that's what she wanted to happen. Because I know it's really easy to demonize us guys. We're the bad guys. We're the monsters. We're the horn dogs.
Oh
We're out to get
no,
women and
girls be
everything.
talking
I
about
get it. I get it. But
getting
women,
drunk and getting henny dick
I'm
all
gonna
the
get
time.
drunk and go fuck this dude.
Yeah, girls be doing that shit like for real.
You know what I'm saying?
They want to get high and get freaky.
Get
Yeah.
me another drink, sir.
But that goes back to what we were saying about Suki and what she said. A lot of females get drunk because they're going to do a lot of shit that they wouldn't do otherwise. And they can use that as the excuse for why they doing what they doing. And then if my things don't pan out the way they wanted to, they can blame it on the drugs or the alcohol. I mean, Jamie Foxx and them said it, blame it on the alcohol. So
come on now. He didn't get that from nowhere because that's what people do.
and see, I've never been that kind of person. Not on purpose. Like I could definitely tell you some times where I don't want to had a good time and then I done gone back home and I'm like, yeah, right now. But that was me initiated and engaging, and I knew exactly what I've been doing. And I've been having sex for a very long time. So and I say that honestly, right? Because I did have parents that had those conversations with me up front, very candid. My grandmother, she used to always like drill that kind of stuff into my head. OGs, male and female, giving me game about stuff like that. And I guess the question I have is, where the fuck are these type of people gone to? We not that's not happening anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I could tell you even back then because we're, the same age, like you're a year older than me, but we're in the same age range, same generation. And I could tell you even back then it wasn't happening for everybody. Everybody didn't have everybody didn't have, pops who been through it. Everybody didn't have a trill mom who was gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah,
some people have moms.
The cucumber out. I was like, what is happening here? Why are we doing this today? Like, her and my aunt. I was like, guys, I don't need this lesson today. Yes, you do. But thank you for the lesson.
Some people didn't have, a lot of people didn't have that. I know more people who had moms like mine who basically was telling you, stay away from sex. Don't have sex until you're married. And it's like, all right, but what if I do before?
Yeah, but I think that has a lot to do with your mom background, right? Like,
but this is what I'm saying, because let's be honest, a lot of Black people are raised in religious households.
Yeah, my grandma was very
even religious. If you're,
she was still honest about that.
You feel me? But that's rare. It is rare for somebody to both be religious in church every Saturday or Sunday and also telling you, hey, this is how the condom goes on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This part up here, like it is rare.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? More often than not, it's not happening like that. That exchange doesn't take place. So, like I said, if you're not lucky and you don't have a sound older person, or that really invested uncle or aunt, you like everybody else, picking up what you got as you go along. And you rarely ever, until like you run into a roadblock, start learning about certain things. You know what I mean? Like consent was a thing that has missed, at least from since I've been alive, it's missed 2 decades worth of men have completely missed the conversation.
Yeah.
So we're talking about men who might be 30 now and men who might be 20 now. Completely missed the consent conversation. Yeah. So do you know how much trauma that causes for a lot of these girls who also wasn't part of the consent conversation? So they didn't know how to not consent. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know how to voice non-consent, it seems. Because if and again, I'm always saying, if women are to be believed, if women are to be believed, there are women who've said yes to sex out of fear and out of pressure.
I just was about to say, I'm sitting here thinking, and there probably maybe a handful of times where I have gone through with something that I have in my mind said, okay, I kind of changed my mind about this, but we here now.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that in itself changes the complexion of what consent looks like. Because again, not everybody even understands. It's
yeah,
only now, like I said, with this movement having happened, that now we are talking in strict and defined terms. Now, when you and I have these trainings, they're telling you straight up, black and white, this, and that.
yeah,
You know, after the whole Bill Cosby situation, now you have that that conversation where, yeah, giving somebody drugs to get them high, you have to somehow in this conversation be clear about, am I getting you high because we are getting high for fun? Or am I getting you high so I can take advantage of you sexually?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that whole thing, so yeah, people, the OGs gotta step in and help the people behind us navigate it. Otherwise, it only gets worse. It only gets more contentious. The divide only gets greater. It's big enough as is. But you know what I'm saying? Then you have more girls who are hurt because they resent these situations. They resent these encounters, these sexual encounters they had with men. And when they grow up now, they 30, 40, talking about this guy raped me. This guy sexually assaulted me. Did he sexually assault you if you said yes, though? Yes, he did, because I said no the first 2 times. You know what I'm saying?
I literally had someone who's a grown woman who basically had, invited someone over she thought was safe. And, he was, I guess, like, rubbing, massaging. And it started going to next level. And she was like, nah. And he was like, nah, but come on. So it wasn't like, he held her down or anything like
Right.
that. But at the same time, she was in that situation, which I was just speaking of, like, okay, I wasn't expecting this to go here, but if I push back now, it's going to seem like it's something more than what he making it seem. And yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That fear that they have, the coercion that some of these guys have been taught is persistence. Like,
yeah,
so I teach guys, no more persistence.
yeah,
Dead it. A girl say no in any aspect of the game, bro. That's game over.
yeah.
Oh, that's my girlfriend, coach. I don't care.
Don't
Leave.
matter. And that was another thing that they were saying in
Send her home.
training.
Send her home. Damn. Like a girl got upset. A girl got upset because I said that. She heard me say that to a guy. She was like, so if I'm over his house because I changed my mind about sex, he got to send me home? Yes, because he invited you over for sex. He didn't invite you to chill. You agreed to sex. He invited you for sex. Now that you've changed your mind, he should send you home.
Because you
Why
never know
can't
what
he
can
just
happen.
show? Why can't he just show self-control? Him sending you home is self-control.
Self-control. Yeah, because definitely I know.
Now there's no questions. There can be no stories about what happened and what didn't happen.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry about any temptation. He doesn't have to worry about any of that. Go home.
Yeah, because like it's always said, it's your word against theirs. And
exactly.
I know like in the training I took today, it was like just because sexual consent is given at the beginning of a relationship for one point, don't mean that's a cover-all for the entire relationship. Because I mean, I'm married, and there might be a time where I tell Art, I don't feel like it. And if he like, man, come on, we about to do this, and he forces me, my husband or not, if I say no, that's still a forceful sexual encounter, and that can be considered rape.
Still men, and I'm about to say there's men right now on this earth, in this country, who believe that there's no way a man can rape his wife because of that.
Nah,
because they think that it's supposed to be a coverall, and because when you're married, you're technically entitled to sex. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah. So when we talk about all these larger things about it, it's easy to see how YK Osiris could be motivated to make the moves he made.
Yep.
But I hold his feet to the fire because, like I said, if anything, somebody should have told you how girls react physically when they interested.
I mean, if anything, these
One
niggas
thing
in
for
the
sure,
rap
two
game need to be teaching him
things.
that shit. Because you know they run across so many females that A, trying to catch them up, and B, trying to catch them up for A, a baby to get money, and C, B, a case just to get money, and C, just because they want to be able to say something negative about these rappers or whatever the case may be. But
problem is, young guys like him are surrounded by guys who make the same mistakes. And a lot of times, if you making the most money, you the de facto leader. So what they gonna tell you? They scared to tell you. They scared to tell you. They there to be yes men. They there to be yes men. But that's why I said, like, I mean, I get the part that Suki plays in this, but I'm gonna hold YK Osiris feet to the fire because I've never rubbed a woman's shoulders and her tense up and me keep going.
Yeah.
Like I know the rub the shoulder.
Lean into that John will be like, oh, that feels good. You need to stop.
Personally, I'm not even mad that he did that because of how she was talking to him. I think that was perfectly fine.
That's what I said.
That was his way kind of easing in to see where things would go. But when she like put her chin in her chest, dog,
she hit her with a turtle.
You know what I'm saying? Pull up, abort.
She was trying to go hide on him. She was like trying to duck off.
Pull the ripcord on the parachute. Get out of there. It's crashed and burned.
They should have been hitting him with this.
You know what I'm saying? But the problem is people wasn't really observing. Like even though Lil Duval was talking trash, it was more about what he was hearing because he looked like he was looking at the game. The other guys looked like they were looking at the game. So they kind of observed what was going on, but wasn't really locked into it.
Yeah.
Again, because of the assumptions they made about Suki and probably what they overheard.
Well,
they didn't think it was no danger zone. They like, you know what I mean? If you see somebody about to pull a John, you kind of like, all right, well, let me mind my business and let him do his thing.
But you know what they say about assuming? Make an ass out of you and me. So
that's a fact.
Everybody looking like asses in this situation, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Everybody in this situation looking like pure assholes because y'all are all accountable for the actions in which transpired for so many reasons. Everyone's wrong. Everyone's at fault. Everyone has some work to do. Everyone needs to take accountability for that shit. And they need to atone for that in some way, shape, or form. And going forward, they need to start having different type of conversations and interactions with motherfuckers. Period.
And let me, since you mentioned me, shut up, dog. Shut up and make music. Shut up and make music. That tweet was horrible. Because the fact is, the part of this that I will not leave out is when he went to kiss her the second time, that was forceful as hell. Yes. The first time was forceful. The second time, once she didn't buy it to it the first time, even though she was on that, I'm shocked, I don't know what to say. The second time when you had to grab and turn, what, bro? And because I heard it, I know people there had to hear it. She said, stop twice. Stop. Bro, if stop meant not here right now or not at all, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, stop means stop. No means no.
Stop. That's that simple. Whatever else she was doing beforehand, that has you amped up and hyped up. Stop. And at that point, I don't even think it's funny. So the fact that he was laughing about it and then went and dapped his man, like that's the part where I as a person and I as a man am bothered because you think that's cool. And no, I would be super apologetic. Even if I thought like, oh, she was giving me the green light. Let me go ahead and get some of this lip action. Once I hear stop. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
It's almost like when I'm play wrestling and I'm like, stop. Or to be like, you just joking to try to get me off. You know, for real, you were on like my knee is bent. Like, no, stop. Like, nigga, get the fuck off me. You are hurting me.
Again, I'm teaching my boys, and I know like it's gonna ruin it for people. Go ahead that stop there too. You play too much. All right, cool. Stop playing. I taught the boys I coach, and I'm teaching my sons the same thing. Okay, I don't care how she feels about it. Oh damn, I didn't mean that for real. Well, you shouldn't have said it. You shouldn't have said it. The minute you say stop, any boy that I have influence over is going to stop, because it protects you both. It means you don't end up having to walk away feeling violated, sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, or borderline rape. It means he doesn't have to worry about any legal cases. He doesn't have to worry about being demonized. He doesn't have to worry about being somebody's Me Too story later on, when all he thought he was doing was being hot and passionate.
Yeah.
So no, like you said,
engaging him.
Taking that assumption out, taking the guesswork out. It's not magical anymore. It's not romantic anymore. It may be even more robotic, but damn it, I'd rather be corny, robotic, and kind of take some of the luster off of it, and black men and black women be safe, than sitting there trying to play slick, trying to bust a move, and now somebody walks away feeling violated. Now you got people calling for the castration of a black man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So do I think he should have got jumped behind it? Actually, yeah. I think if she had some brothers or something, they should have walked up on him like, yo, you heard her say stop the first time, right? Right? Oh, what you said, stop? You want us to stop now, don't you? You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I think I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Because nonetheless, whether you are a young boy or whether you are old, somebody says stop, you're supposed to stop. And I just can't give no pass behind that. But like you said, everybody on set dropped the ball. Everybody on set dropped the ball. Everybody. Like, yes, he should have been able to read the nonverbal cues, but maybe he's not capable of it. People assume that because you live to be a certain age, that you've experienced things and you know what is and you know what ain't, and it's not true. Don't make that assumption. Don't make that assumption. Some people just ain't got it with them. So you got to listen, ladies, if you're watching this, stand up for yourself, be clear. I don't care how corny it makes you look. I don't care if it hurts your brand. I don't care if it costs you 50 people off your OnlyFans, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is you got going on, stand up, be clear, be assertive if need be. And dudes, pay attention, read the room, read the body language, and go for that clear yes. Yeah. Go for that clear cooperation. Hell, make her make the move after you start talking crazy.
I was about to say, let her engage.
You know what I'm saying? It's just safer for all parties, and that's what I really want, is the safety of black men and women when they relating with each other, when they interacting with each other. At the end of the day, I don't want somebody feeling hurt like Suki felt. I don't want somebody being embarrassed, feeling violated how she felt. And I don't want nobody being witch hunted. Well, not even witch hunted. I don't want nobody being, demonized to the point that YK was. Like, is he wrong? Bit on him? Yeah. Beat him up? Sure. But like the things they were saying, you would have thought that he's just out here violating women left and right. And then again, I don't know what else he's doing with other women. And maybe that's part of the problem, is that other women allow him to do it. So again, like I say to men, checks and balances, man. Every girl not the same. Every girl not the same. I get it. Some of you dudes are quite handsome. Some of you dudes got money. Some of you dudes, women fall at your feet. Every woman is not the same woman, dog. Reset the counter every time. Reset the counter every time. And just
acceptable either.
And just play it smart and get the sure green light. It's not going to take away from what happens after. Okay. Like you said before, we very clear about sexual assault, sexual harassment, rape, all those kind of violations. We're very clear on which line that we stand. There's nothing a woman can wear. There's nothing a woman can say. There's no profession a woman can have that allows you to just go ahead and do that kind of stuff. Whether you're a man or a woman, no, you're not allowed to do that stuff just because of what she got going on, whatever that manifestation is.
Yep.
Just making sure we end on that note. So this has been a solid conversation. We got to the root of it. And I think that, at the end of the day, we touch what we need to touch. So on behalf of A.C.E, my brother, that's who we always be. On behalf of Mimi the Goddess, as I always say, be safe, stay dangerous, be smart, be respectful, be flexible, be patient. That includes with yourself. Be good to as many people as you possibly can. I know some people don't make it possible. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Be kind to everybody else. But most importantly, make sure to be kind and be good to yourselves. Y'all hear me? Once again, this is the Life Be Life and podcast. We're going to catch y'all next time. We up out of here.